Hey guys, how's it going? It's Kiru with another video. I wanted to go over how to get over self-belief. Like by the end of this video, you should be able to kind of understand the process of self-belief, because I know you might be in a position of like, oh, I can't get in shape. And you might look at me and be like, oh, Kiru, he's in shape and it was easy for him. I don't want you to think that in any sort of way, because I don't have the best genetics in terms of physique. Like I wasn't the super athletic kid growing up. So like, I don't want you to think as if, I had the confidence when I first started my fitness journey, because I didn't. I had a lot of doubts, like a lot of doubts, whether it was with, should I stick through with this, or whether it was, can I even get stronger, or can I even like look good? There was a lot of self-beliefs for me, because to the eyes of the people that were in the past, they didn't think that I would actually get in shape. And when you are reassured of that fact, and they keep telling you that fact more so every single, pretty often, you start to doubt yourself, like, am I going to do it? And that's one of the hardest things, and why people give up. And this doesn't even need to be fitness related too, right? Like if you have a vision and you stop halfway through, it's more so that consistency comes from not believing in yourself, right? So when things get hard and you stop believing that it is worth actually putting through with it. When you stop, because the thought of you having that goal will never go away, and that's something that always stuck with me. And that's why, I had to get in shape, because I like to put it this way: like if you have the thought of wanting to get in shape, that thought will never go away. It'll never go away, right? It might go away for periods, but it'll always come back. And it's going to get to a point where when you're in your deathbed, that'll be the last moment. Like you can, there's no, I'll start next week. There's no, the thought will never go away. And for me, I don't want to be in my deathbed with regrets, right? And so I was like, I have to get in shape. Like I have to do this, right? I'm talking to myself at that moment. I have to do this. But I had a lot of self-belief, because I don't know if I could do it. But I was like, surely if I just put through with it, it'll work, right? It's self-belief. You really have to be delusional, right? Like you can't listen to what people tell you, because at the end of the day, when you focus on inputs, the output just comes. The issue is when you focus on the output. So let's paint it like this. When you focus on the output, so let's say I want to lose 20 pounds of fat. I want to have 10 pounds of muscle. I want to see my abs. That's your goal. And you go for a week into the gym, and that's the output you want, and you don't see it, right? That already puts you a little bit down, because you're like, I want to get here and I'm all the way here. Damn, this is hard. And then you have the self-believing thoughts in your own mind, and then you see other people see you trying to get to that goal, and they start to instill stuff into your mindset. Especially not everyone, but the people that aren't actually trying to better themselves, they're going to try to put you down, right? So those thoughts also coming into your head, and it's just, you see that roller coaster of emotions where it's like, it's understandable that you let the self-beliefs get to you, because that's what you're focusing on. When you focus on the inputs, that's when everything changes, because I'm doing everything I told myself I'm going to do today. And that gives me confidence and reassurance that I'm actually going to achieve that eventually. And that gives you self-belief and confidence. And no matter what anyone else tells you, you're doing what you need to do every single day, and it will happen. It's just a matter of time. That's the mindset switch you need to have, right? Focusing on the inputs. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to do this today. But the other mistake people make is, if you are focused on the output, so like you mentioned, lose the 20 pounds, build 10 pounds of muscle, have your abs. If you focus on the output and do the input based off of the output, let me land, you're going to go super intense with the daily habits to the point where you don't stick with it. For instance, you might wake up one day and just say, you know what, I'm going to drink 4 liters of water. I'm going to go to the gym. After I lift, I'm going to do some cardio. I'm going to wake up earlier. I'm going to eat 100% clean. No more junk food at all. And you were someone that ate junk food 3 times a week. And now you're going to completely cut it off. It's not realistic, because you're still focused on the output, right? It's habit stacking. I always say this: people underestimate what can happen in 6 months and overestimate what can happen in a week. Just like how the saying of people underestimate what can happen in a decade, and people overestimate what can happen in 6 months. You always have to think in the long term. Every single month, you should be a different person. And when you are just focused on trying to be a different person in, like, let's say like January 1st, there's always the New Year resolutioners. That's why the New Year resolutioners always fail. And it sucks because like I mentioned, the self-limiting belief, every single time you fail, that limiting belief gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and you start believing that you actually can't get in shape. And that's the worst. Because all that time of trying to focus on the output, if you just focus on the input, you would have made far more progress. Imagine all the people that like the same year in, year out, and they just stuck to habits and built it on top of each other, how they would look in those 5 years of wasting time. They would be a complete different person. Not only physically, but also mentally, because they had the self-belief. Because every single day they're putting in what they actually need to put in, and that'll get results, right? Like, dude, like I always mention this, like when I started, I still remember it, like I always talk about this, where like, there was an incline bench like at the gym I go to, and like I never went there. Like I never went to the bench at all because like I was too scared to like, you know, like unless I was with a friend, but I never went by myself. And then one day the bench was empty. Like I still remember it, like vividly. It's like the first week of me in the gym. It was empty, the incline bench press. So I went there, and then I was like, okay, let me just do this. Let me just try this. And then I put 5 pounds on each side. So like 5 pound plates on each side of the barbell, and that's my working set. Like that's my like actual like. That I was struggling with that, right? And then a big dude, like super jacked, he came and he's like, "Oh, can I work with you?" He was very like, he was bubbly. He was a very supportive dude, right? But he came up to me and he's like, "Oh, can I work with you?" Of course, I'm gonna say yes. I'm not gonna say no to a guy that's like absolutely jacked. And so it crushed me when I saw him warm up with a plate on each side. Like he put a plate and he started repping it. And to me, like at that moment, like I was like, damn, there's levels. I was like, this is going to be a huge fight. Because I was on 5 pounds and I was struggling with it. And he comes and puts 45 on each side. So that's 135 pounds. And he's repping it out. Right? And I remember like that day, like I went home, like I didn't even finish my workout because I was like, damn. And then I walk home. And like that walk, because I didn't drive then. So I was walking home and I was just like, yeah, God damn, this is gonna be something. Like I was so down. That entire day, I still remember it, like it was yesterday. But now, like I'm warming up with like a plate, you know, like when you focus on the input. But I just knew, like if I just stick to it, it'll work. Now I'm repping a plate. Like I do what that guy did, and I'm repping it when I first started. But imagine I gave up then. It's because I focused on the input. It's like, yo, it'll work. It'll surely work. But when you focus on the output, you start basing your inputs on achieving that output as fast as you can. Trying to do it all in one. So if you want to lose like 40 pounds in the next 6 months, which is more than doable, but imagine you just focus on that 40 pounds to lose, and from day one, you want to go super intense. I always hear the 1,200 calories, and they restart every Monday. They end up binge eating, makes the progress worse. Imagine if you stack habits. Get the small wins, because small wins is what gives you hope. Because it's like when you go super aggressive, it's like you're going into a fog and you don't know what to expect. And then somebody just comes to karate chops you. Like you didn't expect that. It's like, whoa. But imagine like you plan everything, right? Like, okay, so I'm gonna eat at maintenance calories, and then I'm going to make sure I'm consistent with the gym. And then I'm gonna go in a 100-calorie deficit. And then you look down like 40 pounds. Like my client Mikkel, he's down 30 pounds, right? We habit stacked, right? 30 pounds of fat and built muscle. So he lost more of fat, right? When you build habits. Right, he started off with maintenance when he started, and then we built habits, and then we got this position. Like I mentioned, people underestimate what can happen in 6 months and overestimate what can happen in a fucking week when it comes to fat loss. Because the majority of people don't last past 3 months in the gym because their goal is the expectations of someone that's been lifting for 4+ years. Right, like I've been lifting for 3.5, almost 4 years now, right, of consistently, and then also like BS before that too, right? So if I focused on here, like now, back then, I wouldn't have got to where I am. But since I focused on the daily inputs, it's like it just happened by nature. And that's what you need to understand, because that's when you actually get results and actually enjoy it. It's like, oh, I did this like I said I'm going to. I went to the gym like I said I'm going to. And it's those small wins that actually gives you confidence every day. Like you start respecting yourself. You stop taking disrespect because you're doing everything you tell yourself to do. And that's when you get self-belief. Because like, I'm doing what I need to do. Surely it'll work. It'll surely work, right? It'll work. And that it makes it fun. It makes it exciting. Like imagine if you had a movie, right? Like, what are the best movies? When the main character goes through some messed up stuff, then he overcomes it, right? He goes through daily battles, right? Imagine if the main character went from this position to this position as fast as possible, so smoothly. It wouldn't be fun, right? Like output, the current person, if it's right away to here, it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be amazing. Because what makes say enjoyable to look back at your progress is see how far you came in terms of the transformation of the actual person, right? So main character, destination goal, small habits, small habits, small habits, small habits. Some problem, overcome it, small habits, build it day by day to actually achieve it. You look back at it and it's like, damn, I did it. I did it. No one can tell me nothing. I learned how to track my food. No one helped me. I learned how to lose fat. No one helped me. I learned how to lift. No one helped me. Not a single person helped me. I can say that confidently. I did it myself. Because there's no one that's teaching me. I did it. And so that's where confidence comes in. That's where self-belief comes in. I don't want you to think that I was just some athletic kid that just got in shape, because I was far from that. And that's what you need to implement as well. You need to take small wins every single day to the point where you build confidence, to the point where you're like, this will work. Because there's no way it doesn't. It's all numbers. Fitness is all numbers. Fat loss is all numbers. 3,500 calories is 1 pound of fat. You go in a 300 calorie deficit for a week, that's a pound of fat. But if you start that from day one, you're going to mess up, because you need to build a mental fortitude, which is another step. Building mental fortitude, calorie deficit, gym, water intake, steps, sleep, all this habit stack. That's why habit stack method is good, because it's one step at a time to actually achieve your goals. So make that change. If you see yourself messing up, ask yourself, and if you think you have that self-belief that you can't get in shape, ask yourself, are you focusing on the output or the input? And how intense are you making your inputs and not being patient? Because habits stack over time, and that's what breeds results and consistency. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hope you found this video useful. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for the next one.